Alright, so in this video, we're going to be talking about the harsh truth why available women that you date often tend to pull away. We've all experienced this where you go on dates with girls, say the date might be going well, you go on maybe even a second date, a third date, and then all of a sudden, it's like you don't hear from her. No matter what happens, it's like she disappears, she's taking longer to respond back to you. It's just a lot of friction to plan further dates with her. She might even ghost you or give some weird BS reason why she can't see you again. We've all been there. And the thing is, man, in this industry, you're gonna see a lot of people, coaches, dating coaches, tell you that the reason that these dates are not working out, why you're not attracting the women you want, especially long term, is because of text game or your mouthpiece and social skills aren't quite good enough. And don't get me wrong, text game, social skills, being able to flirt and escalate, as I've always preached, is part of the game. However, there's a whole entire other part of the game that you need to realize. The other part of the equation, why you're truly not attracting her long term, why it's not leading to anything with her, why she's flaking, is because you are simply not her first choice. She doesn't want you because you are not her first choice. And to get her, you need to become her first choice. You see, in order to attract women long term, date them long term, or get into a relationship with the girl long term, you need to satisfy her short term and long term and genuine desire in terms of hypergamy. I'll say this again. In order to attract women, get them to come back, or attract the girl that you want to date long term, if that's what you're going for, if you're going for a long term relationship. Regardless, you need to satisfy her short term and long term genuine desire in terms of hypergamy. Because when you satisfy her hypergamy requirements, the entire process is going to be completely frictionless. Less resistance because you are her perfect 10 out of 10 and you become her first choice. The reason right now, 9 times out of 10, why you're not able to sustain dates with this girl long term, let alone get into a relationship, is simply because you were not her first choice. You need to become her first choice. So really in this video, we're gonna be breaking down, deep diving really all into it. And I wanna start with the first column, which is the signs that you are not her first choice. Signs that you're probably not her first choice. That's what we're gonna start this video off with. After that, we're gonna go a little bit into the theory, what's going on into her mindset in terms of hypergamy, satisfying her hypergamy psychologically from her perspective. And then we're gonna go wrap up the video with lies that you, especially as a brown guy, were told. A lot of brown men fall victim to a lot of these manipulation tactics. When I was younger, when I was your age, back when I was in my 20s, I'm 32 right now, but back when I was in my 20s trying to figure all this out, I was also subject and the victim to a lot of these lies that a lot of these dating coaches try and claim and push onto you. So from one homie to another, I genuinely want to help you out. So definitely stay tuned towards the end of this video because I'm going to be talking a lot about common things a lot of people in this industry do to susceptible brown men out there. And finally, I want to give you the solution. As a content creator who's trying to help you level up and transform your dating life and your self-improvement journey, I want to give you the solution. I want to help you become the best, most attractive version of yourself as a brown guy. Now, the solution isn't necessarily rocket science. It's something I've preached a lot in a lot of my videos in the past, but regardless, it's always good to reiterate, become aware, and help you the best that I can to help you attract women that you truly want. And a huge part of this is going really deep, diving into her psychological mindset. And that does include really discussing some of these harsh truths, like in this video. you really need to understand female nature to take your dating life to the next level. So the first thing I want to cover is certain signs that you're just not it, that you are not her first choice. The first sign right off the bat that you should walk away is it's hard to plan dates. Maybe the first date you went on, it was flawless, it was good, but when it comes to planning the second date, the third date, it just starts becoming a lot harder, right? She's always flaking for whatever reason. It might have started smooth, but now there's just more and more friction. It's like you're pulling teeth every time you text her. In fact, half the time you text her nowadays, she might not even be texting you back, right? It's just harder to plan dates. This just all shows a lack of interest and clearly is a huge sign 9 times out of 10 that you are not her first choice. Harder to hang out with her, meet up with her. Chances are you are not her first choice. There's a lot of friction. The second sign that you're just not it, bro, and you're not her first choice is simple. You go on the first couple dates, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to work out, right? She kind of just gives this BS reason why it doesn't work out. These reasons could range from, oh, I'm not in the right mental space to date right now. Oh, after hanging out, I've thought about it and I don't think I'm ready to commit to something right now. Oh, I'm not really feeling it right now. I'm not hyped about going on these dates. I don't think I'm in the right zone or the right headspace to be dating right now. I'm going to tell you this, man, 9 times out of 10, that's a bunch of shit. That's cap. Because if you were the right guy, if you were her first choice, 9 times out of 10, you would not be getting messages like this. In fact, it becomes so frictionless when the genuine desire is there. After the first couple dates, she's going to be the one reaching out. She's going to be the one, even after like the second date or so, constantly texting you. Depending on how much desire she really has for you, she's going to be wanting to hang out. She's going to be suggesting dates. After the first 2 dates or so, it really shifts. When that genuine desire is there, I'm telling you, when you are her primary choice, it becomes so frictionless. If you're getting to date number 3, 4, 5, and it seems like you're just pulling teeth, it's such a hard process. It seems like it's such a hard process. It's because you're not her first choice, period. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to cap. A lot of getting into a relationship and just dating women long term, there is a bit of luck involved. A lot of times you do really have to be in the right place at the right time. Luck can definitely play a role, satisfying her at the right time. For instance, you satisfying her, her needs, her hypergamous needs at the right time when she's really looking for a relationship and you really checking those boxes off in that right moment of time. A lot of that can happen just due to sheer chance, due to luck. You don't know what's going on in the back end, how many other guys she's talking to, right? One of the guys could be someone just at a social circle event, like an intramural soccer league. And all of a sudden, right, you go on a date or two with her and then she just pulls away out of nowhere and you're thinking, oh, it must be my text game. Oh, it must be my mouthpiece. When really there's so much stuff going on in the back end that you're not aware about. And it's the simple fact that you ultimately were not her first choice. You were not her best choice. It was the other guy she's talking to through her social circles. So with all that being said, man, chance and luck, part of this does have to do with being there at the right time, at the right moment. Even just being unlucky and having another guy come into her life. If she's, say, at a social circle event, like an intramural co-ed sports league, right? Just giving an example, but it's so true. You don't know what's going on at the back end. Don't expect to be safe, especially during the beginning stages of dating. And sometimes it's not all your fault. A lot of it has to do with luck. Sometimes the luck favors you. Sometimes it favors a completely other guy who just happens to be there at the right moment, and she chooses him over you, right? So a lot of this, again, does have to do with being at the right place at the right time. But overall, it all goes and boils down to this underlying principle that you were not her first choice. And to get her, date her long term, you need to be her first choice. Now, I want to go more into the theory of all of this, which really ties into what I was just saying. But the theory column is, again, assume there are at least a couple other men she's talking to. Especially attractive women, they're always going to have a lot of options. And again, lining up into theory as well as this first column, right? Signs that you were just not it and she's talking to someone else. These two really interconnect. Ghosting happens 9 times out of 10. Again, it's not necessarily going to be because text game or bad social skills. Yes, can that play a role into it? Yeah, it can. But it's not a rocket science. You were not her first choice. And the fact that women aren't confrontational. A lot of women, they don't feel like explaining themselves why they might ghost you. They're not going to talk about all this psychological theory and what's going on in the back end. And she doesn't want to talk about other guys that she's dating. She does not want to come off to you like she's some playgirl, right? Like she's dating all these other dudes. She doesn't want to come off and give off that vibe. So she's not going to straight up tell you what happened. A lot of times she's just going to either make up some type of line, like saying why it doesn't work out. Oh, I don't think I'm in the right headspace to date. Oh, I realize that I'm not really ready for a relationship right now. 9 times out of 10, again, most of that is cap, right? If you met on a dating app, yeah, listen to what she says, then look back on the dating app a couple weeks later. She's either not on the dating app because she met someone else, or she's still on the dating app because she's still exploring her options and realized you just were not it, bro. So a lot of times when it comes to ghosting, they're not going to say anything because they don't want to be confrontational. They don't want to explain themselves and be like, oh, I was dating another guy this entire time and he was the better option. They're not going to say that. So what do women do? What do a lot of women do? They just don't say anything. They just ghost you straight off the bat, right? So that's a little bit of theory game 101. They're not confrontational. They don't want to explain themselves, right? So the easy way out with women is just ghosting straight up. So that's a lot of theory for you right now in this theory column, also built in to the signs that you were just not it and you were not her first choice. And again, I want to reiterate that the main principle when it comes to dating, at the end of the day, it really is sexual market value and satisfying her hypergamy and her genuine desire. Because at the end of the day, man, if you're her type, if you satisfy her, if you satisfy the short-term and long-term hypergamy, genuine desire, if you're her type, it's going to be frictionless. It's going to be completely frictionless. If you satisfy the sexual market value that she's looking for, you satisfy her hypergamy level. And I know I keep mentioning hypergamy, but if you don't understand what hypergamy is by now, it's basically women date upward, across, and then go upward, right? You need to be at the hypergamy level that she desires. If you are not at the hypergamy level, right, there's going to be more friction to it. So again, you need to satisfy her short-term and long-term and genuine desire from that hypergamy level. Because if you do and you're her type, it's going to be more frictionless. Now, last column, again, lies you were told. I'm going to first dive into the lies you were told before I go into the solution to all of this, which again, it's not necessarily rocket science, but again, you all trying to level up your dating life, my best advice to you on what you can do in this dating market in 2025, right? But common lies you were probably told by many dating coaches is just get better text game or just improve your mouthpiece and social skills. Again, don't get me wrong. You need solid social skills, especially if you want to get into that serious relationship with her. But in the beginnings part of dating, right? The fact that in the primary phase, the front end phase, dating coaches are telling you it's your text game, bro, or oh, your mouthpiece and social skills and charisma weren't good enough, bro. It's just one part of the equation. But it amazes me how so many dating coaches don't talk about the hypergamy factor and satisfying her front end needs. If you satisfy her hypergamy needs, if say you're a dude with a great profession, say you're a software engineer, doctor, and she's a teacher, or maybe she's a barista, or maybe she's even a nurse, right? Whatever occupation she has, Maybe she's a psychologist, maybe she works as a teacher, maybe she's a nanny, whatever her profession is, right? If she perceives you as high value, she perceives you as someone who has their life together, great career, attractive, good looking, in shape, stylish. If you tick all those boxes, I'm telling you, you don't need to have the crazy advanced text game that all these dating coaches try to claim. You don't. You don't need extreme levels of charisma. This stuff isn't going to hold as much weight as a lot of these other coaches tell you. If you're overweight, broke, no job, no amount of mouthpiece maxing and text game is going to help you in that instance, okay? So be very careful, right? A lot of Indian men fall victim to this. I fell victim to this too back when I was younger. I used to think that the only thing that mattered was the game, the social skills. These people, that you see online preaching about how game this, game that, you can attract any woman. It's just your mouthpiece. That's far from the truth. It's part of the equation, but it's not the full equation. She needs to be attracted to you. I'll always say this, the hypergamous nature of women, the front end game especially, you getting your foot into the door, you being her type, you satisfying her hypergamous needs, her perceiving you as that badass bad boy, high tier guy that she likes, that she's really into, that comes first. After that, when you're trying to really develop the connection, take it further, get into that long-term relationship, then yeah, you need to have solid social skills, be able to communicate, so on and so forth. But even in the front end, right? Even if you don't have crazy text game, if you satisfy the essential hypergamous things that she's looking for, needs that she's looking for, you don't need the crazy advanced text game like a lot of these dating coaches claim. So, with all of that being said, what is the solution to all of this, right? You right now are probably frustrated that you're going on dates, women are ghosting you, they're pulling away, or they're just giving BS reason after reason why they can't go on multiple dates with you, especially after the first or second date, why nothing ever capitalizes. And the answer, honestly, is what I always preach on this channel. Becoming as desirable as possible. Self-improvement. Basically another word for hypergamy maxing. Hypergamy maxing. Self-improvement. Become the best possible version of yourself. As desirable as possible. Becoming as desirable as possible. Not just with the mouthpiece and social skills, like a lot of dating coaches say. That's part of it, but it's not the whole equation. Body game, aesthetics, grooming, fashion. What do you do for your career? Your job, for all of us people that aren't celebrities, your job pretty much is your status indicator. What do you do for work? Why do you think every dating app, one of the questions is listing what you do for work? What do you do for work? What is your career? Job title. That's on every dating app, right? Instagram, in your bio, status indicator. One of the first things that should be written is, what do you do for your career, your job? What do you actually do? You need to satisfy her hypergamous needs. From the looks part, shredded, good body, good style, good fashion. As an Indian guy watching this, shatter the negative stereotypes. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. A lot of Indian men, brown men, South Asian guys struggle with this. It's super easy to stand out as a brown guy through self-improvement, making yourself more attractive, dressing better, grooming. If you just get shredded, lower your body fat percentage, hit the gym consistently, after 6 months or so, you're going to be ahead of a lot of brown men out there who are so inconsistent, or let alone don't even go to the gym, right? So the solution really is, I say this all the time, becoming the most attractive, best possible version of yourself. Self-improvement, body game, having a shredded physique, style, grooming, fashion, and of course, your career. What are you doing with your life, right? What are you doing to make money? Get your money right, get the looks right, and become the best attractive possible version of yourself, so you do end up becoming her first choice. And again, I told you guys from the start, the solution wasn't going to be rocket science, but there is no excuse why you should take your foot off the gas pedal. You know, even when you've made it, even when you progress through life, always put your foot on the gas pedal, right? You never want to become that guy that is overweight, in his 30s, 40s, maybe he's finally settled down with a girl, right? But then he lost it all. He got complacent. You should never be complacent. You should always be striving to reach new levels, reach new heights. Now, I do believe there does come a time when you've looks maxed and it really becomes more of a diminishing returns, right? But even then, at least maintaining what you've built and not taking your foot off the gas pedal. As simple as hitting the gym consistently, doing your basic hygiene, grooming, skincare practices, right? Always maintaining that high level of attraction, in addition to always trying to level up your career, your money, your finances. No excuse why you can't be the best employee at your current company you're working for. No excuse why you can't level up. Even if you're not in business and not an entrepreneur, there is no excuse why you can't be the best software engineer or doctor, research analyst at your current company if you're in corporate and not in business. But the principle still is the same. Always trying to level up, reach that new tier, reach that new profit, reach that new level of income. Outwork everybody. Always be the best possible version of yourself in work, making money, your career, as well as the physical, the looks, and becoming more attractive. Always strive for more. That is the solution. To become her first choice, that is how you do it. Hypergamy max as much as you can. Self-improvement, never take your foot off the gas pedal. Ever. No matter what stage in life you're in. Always remember that, homie. Now, I want to end this video off with this. You should never feel bad about playing the field as a man, dating multiple girls. But if you guys aren't exclusive yet, don't be putting all your eggs in one basket. Women have so many options, okay? Don't feel bad about playing the field up until you guys get exclusive. You should always be dating multiple girls, 3, 4 girls at a time until you get exclusive with that one girl who chooses you. Because you are her type, you satisfied her hypergamy needs. It's frictionless, you were her type, you satisfied her hypergamy needs, now you guys are in that relationship. At that point in time, yeah, full respect each other and don't be dating other women. But until you reach that point, man, play the field, date multiple girls. Never, ever, ever put all your eggs in one basket. That is the dating game in 2025. She has options. You should also have options. Now, speaking of improving your dating life, getting more options in the dating market, if you're a single South Asian guy who's struggling with your dating life, struggling even getting women into your dating funnel, need more help, when you're ready, check out the first link in the description. That is my South Asian Warriors School, helping single South Asian men transform their dating life. I made this to help Indian men, brown men, all over the world who are struggling with their dating life. Just like how I was at one point, I figured the game out. I want to help you. Click the first link in the description to join the school community, South Asian Warriors. Like and subscribe, drop a comment below. This is the harsh truth why available women often pull away from you. And I will catch you in the next video, homie. Peace.